Welcome to the Crows Show, brought to you by Hungry Jacks. Coming up, Ben Keys catches up with Mark Keane in the all-electric BZ4X. And Nixie has his say on the Bulldogs clash. But first, the Crows' short history boasts some big moments and star players. And for fans and collectors, the jumpers worn by those stars in those moments are must-haves.
I started collecting my Adelaide Crows match-worn Guernseys in 2009, and that was a way to get a piece of history from the footy club that I've grown up watching. To date, I've got over 130 Adelaide Crows match-worn jumpers in the collection, and here's a small sample. So we have Darren Jarman, Matt Crouch, Isaac Rankin, Rory Sloane, Scott Thompson, Benny Hart, Andrew McLeod, Eddie Betts, Mark Rasciuto, Tony McGuinness, Brett Burton, another Darren Jarman, Nigel Smart, Simon Goodwin, Geordie Dawson, Tony Modra, the second Roo, and the Big Texan. Certain parts of the collection evoke emotions, things from memories of great games, great players, guys that I idolised.
Oh yes, he's kicked it! It's a mighty goal!
The 1995 Tony Modra in my collection was worn through the full season, which included the game against Richmond at the MCG where he kicked goal of the year. Having a moment like that from my favourite player is certainly something I cherish. For me, when I'm looking for a match-worn jumper, I want something ideally that has been worn as much as possible. A jumper that has been worn for a full year is magnificent. You can see the wear and tear, you get all of the great games. My Jordan Dawson is a 2022 jumper. I did get that at auction and was very happy when I realised that that was the one he kicked the match-winning post-siren goal against Port in the showdown.
The scenes at the Adelaide Oval!
The club are really good at having auctions every year for the really old stuff. Generally, players are the best source for those. I've had the comment from a player that, you know, they're just a work shirt, it's just part of my uniform, and sometimes they're willing to sell one to you. I'm very lucky to have one of Andrew McLeod's 200th game jumpers. Obviously a special moment for clearly one of the greatest players who's ever played for the footy club. Jumper that you may have paid $500, $1,000 for 20 years ago could be in the 10 to 20,000 range now. The all-time favourite jumper in my collection is the Darren Jarman 1997 Grand Final jumper. The last quarter he kicked 5 goals in that quarter alone to take the game away from the Saints. The memories of that, it just evokes that amazing memory.
Look who it is, guys. Mark Keane.
How are we, lads?
So good to have you in the Toyota BZ, mate. How you going?
Thanks for having me, Keezy.
Mate, what are your thoughts on the ride so far? Pretty nice, isn't
Yeah,
it?
pretty good at reversing. You are.
Yeah. Toyota's extended test drive program runs to the end of November, so you can get one. I know you're all set with cars, mate, in your Hilux, floating along, but for anyone watching, end of November, you can get in one of these and test it out.
That sounds good.
Keaney, so, mate, you're one of the, I would say, more interesting players on the AFC list.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a great thing. Obviously, background comes into that. How'd you get to the AFL? How'd you get to AFC?
Well, I was playing Gaelic football back home and then went to America with the AIS Academy, brought out to Australia with 3 other Irish boys and had a few clubs look at me there. Unfortunately, Adelaide wasn't one of them.
Could have got you earlier.
I was picked up by Collingwood, thankfully. And I had 3 really good years at Collingwood until I went home due to homesickness and stuff in 2022. And then was in touch with my manager about coming back out to play AFL, and luckily but unfortunately for Fisher Mackesy, he finished up probably 2 weeks beforehand and it opened up a spot at the Crows.
You mentioned your homesickness in your first stint in the AFL. What are some of the things you miss about home, and you probably still do miss?
Playing Gaelic football, playing hurling, and all my friends were in college and stuff like that, so I wasn't getting to experience any of that. I was kind of becoming a man, I suppose, at 18 years of age when all my friends were kind of enjoying life back home. So, but yeah, the grass isn't always greener when you head back. So,
mate, you mentioned hurling, Gaelic. You were better at hurling, weren't you, than Gaelic footy, which is a little bit different, bit out there?
Well, where I'm from, you grow up and play both.
Yeah.
So you play hurling one week and football, Gaelic football the following week. They're under the same organisation, so it'd be the same as if AFL and cricket are under the same.
Gotcha.
You just have to be able to play both.
Wow.
Where I'm from, so yeah, no, and hopefully international rules returns back this year. So shout out to Andrew Dillon to get that international rules back up. I'm playing against Kesey.
Get the international rules back going.
International rules back going. It was in Adelaide in 2017. I'd love to have it go off. A few Adelaide Crows players.
Imagine that.
Dawson included.
Yeah, get Dawson there. I'd love to play it. What skills were the easy to pick up, and then what were the harder skills to pick up, being so, I guess, late to the AFL compared to other kids?
The hardest one was probably positioning and where to be on the ground, getting ball watching, and I suppose even the body contact. Like we don't grow up tackling, and we don't grow up using our body for aerial. So like, that's a free in Gaelic football, so you kind of have to be aware of what's behind you before you go for your marks.
Yeah.
I think you got annoyed by me asking you what do you do, what do you do every day. So
anytime.
No, there's a lot of people influential here at the Adelaide Footy Club.
Mark Keane, ladies and gentlemen, what a guy. Thanks for coming in the Toyota BZ, mate. That's a really insightful chat.
Thank
you very much.
Thanks for having me, Keezy.
No worries, mate. And so lucky you come back to the Crows, mate. We're
Thank
very
you.
lucky to have you.
Don't forget you can join Brodie Smith, Ebony Marinoff and Mark Thomas every Sunday morning on Triple M from 9 a.m. You can also download the podcast on Listening. And thanks to Toyota, if you take a photo of yourself or a friend at one of our games and post it to social media, make sure you use the hashtag WeFlyAsOne. This week's lucky fan is you. Please email faceinthecrowd@afc.com.au with photo ID to claim your prize of 2 tickets to Toyota's exclusive Hilux Hill at Adelaide Oval. The Toyota all-electric BZ4X. Heaps of room in the boot, easy and quick to charge, plug in and you're done. Packed with safety features, it keeps an eye out for you. Smooth, quiet, effortless to drive, the Toyota all-electric BZ4X. Visit a dealership for an extended test drive.
Thanks for joining me, Chip.
Glad to be here.
You're in your 3rd pre-season, but 2nd official. Can you tell everyone at home how you got to the Adelaide Football Club?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Just happened to play one good game that the Crows were watching. It was All-Stars v like the AFLW Academy.
And then we gave you a call and you came to Kapunda?
Yeah, they said that we've got your pre-season camp coming up, so if I wanted to, I could come and meet everyone, and yeah, I did, which was a bit stressful. I didn't really want to go, to be honest, but Mum and Dad were like, you got to go. So yeah, but everyone was great and so welcoming. And I got signed as an injury replacement, so didn't get drafted, missed out on 2 drafts, and then yeah, I got picked up in the middle of the pre-season.
Talk about missing 2 drafts and the resilience that you would have gone through.
It was tough, but everyone has a different journey, so it's nice that it's all worked out in the end. But yeah, it definitely was hard that you're seeing your friends on lists and you're obviously happy for them, but you also want to be there, so use that as motivation as well.
Your journey's been a little bit different. You come from Victoria and now made Adelaide home.
Yeah, it's been great. Like, I think Adelaide's quite underrated, and yeah, I really enjoy my time here. And yeah, it's very different to Melbourne, but easy to get around, and yeah, it's good.
Why is Adelaide underrated?
Well, everyone sometimes says it's a bit boring, but no, I like it. It's very chill.
Last year you were able to string a few games together and really cement your spot in the team, and unfortunately due to your injury.
Yeah, that was pretty disappointing. I just found my feet getting into the team and then broke my collarbone. But yeah, hopefully this year, no more injuries and just get in the team, be consistent and hopefully stay in there.
What do you think you can bring to the team this year with that full pre-season under your belt?
I think just my run and carry. I like to take the game on, just be attacking, and obviously being a defender as well, got to lock down. But yeah, when I do get the ball, just use it well, hopefully.
Awesome. Thanks for joining me, Chip.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so all my junior footy was at Ingle Farm Footy Club, which is northeastern suburbs of Adelaide. Yeah, I would have started there maybe 4 or 5, and I reckon I finished up probably under 16s, I reckon. And then from there, played at Central Districts as well, so that was sort of got more serious when you went into the 16s and 18s. So my sort of path to the AFL, and I love my time at Ingle Farm there. I got my little brother now, still plays it there, so get back there on occasionally on the weekends when I can. Oh yeah, we was lucky enough. We had a pretty strong team, so we played in a couple of premierships. I think three grand finals over the 11s till 16s, and it's more so the after your footy games, running around with your cousins and mates playing footy on the side after already playing a game and watching the older boys play. Yeah, it's obviously massively important to just keep having fun. I think it becomes a bit of a chore if you're not having fun. So if you're doing a extra skill session or handball, we always sort of look to make it fun and make it a comp between your mates, and that's probably probably doing a couple of things, is putting you under pressure, just working on your skills while under pressure, and then it's a bit of a competitive edge. You always want to beat your mates, so they're probably three things that you're doing that without you even knowing you're getting better, but you're having fun at the same time.
Well, now it's time for the 7 News Distant Replay. Now let's take a look back at how 7 News covered major moments in Crows history.
If these are preliminary final celebrations, imagine what they'll be like if the Crows win the big one. Thousands of people cramming the airport last night and singing their praises. The Crows themselves taken aback by the enormous reception. It had been a long day for some. The victors only too happy to oblige their loyal fans. Not even the news Tony Modra faces a year on the sidelines could dampen the spirits. So who was best to field against the Bulldogs? And why will the Crows win next week?
We've got the ruckman, they don't. We've got the on-ballers, they don't. I think the Crows are on a high at the moment.
Just as much pandemonium at the Melbourne Park Function Centre before the Crows flew home. The coach battling to make himself heard over the commotion. Many fans keen to paint the enemy town red, blue and yellow last night. And where to now for Sam Newman?
I'll put my entire football reputation on this game. If the Adelaide Crows beat the Western Bulldogs today, I will give football tipping and football commentating away forever.
Don't forget, 7 News is your home ground for everything AFL.
I like Wayne Gretzky. He wasn't really the best at anything, but is the greatest of all-time ice hockey player.
Favourite all-time sports person has lately become LeBron James.
Probably not Tex Walker. I reckon Phil Mickelson.
Probably Messi, I reckon.
Ricky Ponting.
Dwayne Wade.
Maybe like Kobe Bryant.
I'll go Gary Ablett Jr.
My all-time favourite sports person, I'd go with Shane Warne.
A bit of a golf fan, so Tiger Woods.
Keeping on the Crows theme, I was a massive Nigel Smart fan, number 7. He was my favourite player growing up.
My all-time favourite sports person is Julian Edelman.
All-time would be Michael Jordan.
Tiger Woods.
Probably Mike Hussey or Simon Whitlock.
Growing up, I watched a lot of tennis, so I admired Roger Federer.
I'll have to go with Chris Judd, being a Carlton supporter growing up.
Don't really have one, but Steph Curry.
Probably say Diego Maradona, soft player.
Trae Young.
Steve Smith.
I loved Luke Hodge growing up.
When I was growing up, probably Jeremy Cameron.
Jeremy Howe.
Lionel Messi.
All-time favourite sports person probably have to be Nat Fyfe.
Mine's actually Joel Selwood.
And my all-time favourite sports person would have to be Michael Jordan. Big basketball fan growing up, so loved watching his mixtapes growing up.
I'll go different teammate, Dane Swan.
Seeing a lot of social stuff around how much farmers and these rural communities in SA are struggling. So if we can just bring a few smiles to some people's faces, I think we've done our part.
Tragically, South Australia is currently enduring some of the driest conditions that we've ever known in our history. For as long as records have been kept, we have not seen dry conditions such as these. And That is having a real world impact on so many of our great farmers and primary producers throughout the state. As a government, we're committed to showing our support, and we've invested $70 million of drought support. But sometimes it's about more than money. Sometimes it's about sharing a message to our farming community that the rest of the state stands with you during these really difficult times. And that's why the Drought Support Round is an initiative that as a government we're really proud to support.
Obviously growing up in those small community towns, we went through a few droughts growing up, and Monday to Friday a lot of these farmers are really struggling, you know, whether it be with rain or sheep or whatever, livestock. Footy or sport as a whole in these regional communities is a massive influence. Yeah, obviously getting out there on a sad day and having those 2 or 3 hours where they don't have to think about farming is really good.
We really appreciate the Crows' support with this. The Drought Support Match means that some farmers will be able to get off the farm for a while, turn off, think about something else, which is really, really important, but also be able to see that raising funds shows that South Australians do know the challenges that they're going through and want to support them, help them, and that they know they're not alone.
Next week, another test against the finals contender when the Gold Coast come to Adelaide Oval. The real quality of the Suns, though, is in the centre square. Rowell and Anderson have been phenomenal this year. They're the new Batman and Robin of the AFL. This is the second year Damien Hardwick's been in charge at Gold Coast, and you can really see the style of play that he's after. It's very contested and a lot of chaos, and of course, that's exactly what finals football's about, so what a great test for Adelaide. You can catch the Crows show right here on 7 every Sunday morning from 11. That's it for today. We'll see you again next week. Today's show was brought to you by Hungry Jack's.